Whether you're stuck in traffic, hitting the gym, or just winding down, we are here to spill the hottest tea from your favorite Bravo shows. From the wildest reunions to the quietest social media unfollows, we cover it all. So welcome back to Reality TV Podcast and Clips. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Let's get into it on 3, 2, 1.
Okay, so we have a huge amount to get through today. And as I was looking through everything, a theme really started to stand out across almost all the shows.
Oh, yeah. What's that?
It feels like we're seeing a shift. The fights aren't really about what someone did anymore. They're about, well, they're about language. It's about production. It's less about the actual drama and more about the words used to talk about the drama.
It's meta. The commentary is becoming the actual storyline. So instead of, you lied about me, it's your verb choice in describing my lie was inaccurate.
Exactly. It's semantic warfare. And, I mean, there's no better example of that right now than in Beverly Hills. The biggest fight of the week isn't about business or cheating. It is literally about the definition of one single word.
The word accosted.
The word accosted.
Right. So this is the whole thing between Amanda Francis and Dorit Kemsley. Let's just set the scene for a second. Amanda claims that Dorit verbally accosted her at a party. Now, when I hear that word, I'm thinking something pretty aggressive, maybe even physical.
Well, and that's the whole point of the argument. It all depends on who you ask. The context is everything here. Amanda had been critical of Dorit's comments about PK and co-parenting.
Yeah.
So Dorit, being Dorit, decided she was going to go talk to her about it, face to face.
Which is, that's what a housewife is supposed to do, right? You talk about me, I'm going to come find you at the next white party. That's the job.
It's standard procedure, absolutely. Yeah. But the timing was just catastrophic. Dorit went up to Amanda on the anniversary of the death of Amanda's son.
Oof.
Yeah. Now, Dorit says she had no idea.
Yeah.
And honestly, knowing Dorit, it's plausible. She lives in her own world a little bit. But because of the timing, the whole thing felt incredibly aggressive to Amanda. It wasn't just a confrontation. It was something more.
So it's this perfect storm of bad timing and hurt feelings. But what's so wild is how the rest of the cast split on it. They weren't really taking sides on who was right or wrong. They were taking sides on the vocabulary.
Exactly. You had Kyle Richards come in, and she actually kind of backed Amanda up, saying Dorit's approach was definitely aggressive.
But then you get Jennifer Tilly and Sutton Strack.
The grammar police.
Yes. They were basically like, hold on, accosted is too strong a word here.
And Sutton even threw in that little dig, right?
Yeah.
She says she's seen Dorit be much, much more aggressive.
Yeah.
Which is sort of a defense, but also not really.
It's a very backhanded compliment. Oh, honey, if she wanted to accost you, you'd know it.
Right. But then Erica Jane had maybe the most pragmatic take. She just said it was bad timing, that Amanda was fragile that night because of the anniversary.
So Erica's saying on any other day, Amanda might have just brushed it off as Dorit being Dorit.
Exactly. But because her emotions were so raw, it felt like an actual attack.
Which is a surprisingly nuanced take from Erica. But Dorit wasn't going for nuance. Her response was, what, I need to buy Amanda a dictionary.
That's it. It's so dismissive. But it shows how they fight now. If you can argue about the word, you don't have to talk about the feeling. And of course, this immediately brought up old drama.
Oh, I saw this. This is when Kyle weaponized the show's history. She said, it's giving Crystal Minkoff.
Yes, violate gate. She's referencing when Crystal used the word violated after Sutton walked in on her when she was naked. Kyle's framing them both as these people who use overly dramatic, loaded words for minor things.
And Crystal, who isn't even a main cast member right now, was not having it. She went right to Instagram.
She did. She posted the clip of Kyle, and the caption was, "College isn't for everyone." And then, just to be sure, she added the hashtag reading is hard.
A direct shot. But beyond the personal dig, Crystal started engaging with fans in the comments?
Yeah. She was agreeing with people who were saying the current cast is grasping at straws for storylines and that Garcelle Beauvais is basically carrying the whole show.
It's kind of breaking the fourth wall, isn't it? When a former housewife is co-signing the idea that the current cast is boring, it feels like a real problem.
It's a huge tell. When the drama is all about semantics, it usually means the real stakes are pretty low. But speaking of breaking the fourth wall, if Beverly Hills is just peeking behind the curtain, Salt Lake City has just ripped it down and set it on fire.
Meredith Marks, she is on an absolute warpath. And it feels different this time. It doesn't feel like she's playing the game. It feels like she's preparing a lawsuit.
I'm calling it litigation by reality TV. She is treating every single reunion question like it's a deposition. So first you have the plane incident with Britani Bateman.
The screaming, the alleged hair pulling.
Right. And Meredith's defense is it's pure logic. She's doubling down that nothing physical happened. And her proof is, where is the video?
The classic pics or it didn't happen defense, which in 2024 is actually kind of a good point. If there was a physical fight on a plane, someone's phone would have been out.
It's a solid defense.
Yeah.
But the one that really got me was her rebuttal to the Uber in Ohio rumor.
Oh, this was incredible. So Britani brings up this TikTok rumor that Meredith's husband, Seth, was in an Uber with some woman in Ohio.
And a normal person would just say, that's not true. Meredith's response was forensic.
It was so specific. She said, first of all, Seth has a car. He doesn't take Ubers, which is hilarious. And second, he wasn't even in the state of Ohio when it supposedly happened.
She is trying to completely discredit the witness on every single point, and she's doing it with everyone. She's now claiming she and Heather Gay were never friends.
That's just rewriting history. They were a solid alliance in season 1.
A total rewrite, and she's accusing Broadway Newport of lying about a business dinner, saying she has text messages to prove it was all professional. But honestly, the fights with the cast feel like the undercard. The main event for Meredith is her fight with production.
This is where it gets really serious. She feels she was set up by producers with this whole pill-popping alcoholic storyline.
She does. And she claims she told them she would take a daily drug test to prove it wasn't true. But they aired the accusations from the other women anyway. I mean, that's a massive accusation. She's basically saying they fabricated a medical crisis for ratings.
Which is such a dangerous game to play. And we actually have some insight on this from Tamara Judge, who knows this game better than anyone.
Right. Tamara's been hired, fired, rehired. She knows how the machine works. And her take was really clear. Do not fight production. She said they hold your life in their hands.
Exactly. They control your edit. If you make them mad, they can make you look like a monster. The house always wins.
Tamara also called the cast's reaction to Meredith at the reunion performative, like they were all acting for the cameras. But she also dropped this little hint about Orange County.
Oh, yeah. She said that while the Jersey cast is great to the crew, there's one specific OC housewife who is just nasty to everybody.
That does change how you watch, doesn't it? Suddenly you're looking for clues about who the nightmare employee is. It completely changes it. So with Meredith, do you think this strategy works? Blaming the edit, blaming production, does it make her look strong or just guilty?
I think for a casual fan, it probably looks paranoid. But for people who are really into this stuff, I think it validates what we all kind of suspect. But it's a huge gamble.
It is. And speaking of high stakes and financial motivations, let's jump over to the East Coast. Potomac and Atlanta. The theme here feels like fake friendships for financial gain.
The QVC-fication of the housewife?
That's perfect. Yes, look at Potomac with Jassy Rideau and Stacey Rush. The surface-level drama is about a wedding. But the real accusation from Jassy is that Stacey's a fraud.
She called her QVC Stacey.
QVC Stacey. She's saying Stacey only befriends people to get on the show so she can sell her products.
And the wedding drama really backs that up. So Stacey told Wendy and Ashley off camera that she couldn't go to Jassy's wedding because she had a QVC conflict. And she says she was building a legacy for her daughter, Arabella.
A legacy for Arabella. It's just, it's such an over-the-top way to say, I have a work commitment.
But Jassy says it was a lie, a total lie. She says Stacey had no conflict, and the only reason Stacey showed up at the last minute with a smile on her face was because Wendy pulled her aside.
And what did Wendy say?
Wendy basically warned her, if you don't go to this wedding, you're going to look like a horrible friend on national television.
So she didn't go for Jassy. She went for the brand, for the legacy, which is a perfect lead into Atlanta and the feud between Drew Sidora and Kelly Farrell. This is all about business.
Restaurant wars. Drew posted that video visiting Kelly's restaurant, Nana's Chicken and Waffles. She makes a big show of it, films a lockbox on the door and says, "Oh, I came to support, but it's closed."
It's such a calculated, shady move. In the social media age, showing a lockbox on a business door is basically saying this place is failing.
Kelly fired back immediately. She clarified that that location is just relocating and the original spot is still open. But she didn't stop there.
No, she went right for Drew's career. She accused her of scrambling for a storyline, there's that fourth wall break again, and mocked her low-budget movies.
And then she dropped the line, "I fed your family for free." That's a low blow.
It's a major power move. And Drew's response was to defend her movie, Twin, saying it charted on Variety, and then she called Kelly a spicy chihuahua.
A spicy chihuahua. I mean, you can't say they're not creative, but if you look at both Potomac and Atlanta, it's the same issue. The relationships feel transactional.
Completely. Jassy thinks Stacy is using her for a storyline. Kelly thinks Drew is using her restaurant for a storyline. And as a viewer, why should I care if they make up? They were never really friends in the first place.
Exactly. The emotional stakes are just gone.
Okay, let's have it now. Usually the men on Bravo are kind of the side characters, but lately on Southern Charm and Summer House, the bromances are not just breaking, they are exploding.
Yeah.
And it's getting dark. It is getting much darker. For years, the guys on these shows were like these Peter Pan figures who just partied and everything was fine. That's over. The fight between Craig Conover and Austin Kroll on Southern Charm, that was not fun TV drama. That was raw.
Craig's whole point was that he feels like he's Austin's punching bag, that Austin takes all his other frustrations out on him because he knows Craig will take it.
Which is a very real dynamic in friendships.
Yeah.
But Austin's side is that Craig gaslit him. He felt like he was being vulnerable, talking about his issues with alcohol, and Craig used it against him.
And then Craig brought up Austin's ex, Audrey. That was the final straw.
That's the ultimate violation of the guy code.
Yeah.
And Shep Rose was just sitting there speechless, which never happens. He said the fight was a long time coming. But he also thinks they'll get over it.
He thinks there's too much history for it to be a real friendship ender.
Yeah, he thinks they have a resilience that maybe the women don't. But I don't know if that's true for Summer House right now. Reports about the fight between Carl Radke and Kyle Cook sound different.
Carl himself called it the biggest fight he's ever had with Kyle. And you have to remember their history. Kyle gave him a job, supported him through his sobriety. They're business partners.
It's not just a friendship, it's a whole infrastructure. And for Carl to say it's the biggest fight ever means something truly broke between them.
And it got physical. Wes Wilson said he had blood on his pants from trying to hold them apart.
Blood on his pants. That's not an argument, that's an altercation. A bar fight.
And Kyle even admits he was a pressure cooker all summer because of the split with Amanda Batula. All that stress had to go somewhere, and it looks like it went right at Carl.
It's genuinely sad to watch. And Carl hinted that this might be the last time we see that original group all together. It really feels like the end of an era for that show.
It does, but there is a little silver lining for Carl. A crossover romance.
The Bravo multiverse strikes again. He's apparently talking to Vanita Aspen from Southern Charm.
Yeah, they've been seen in London and Brooklyn. It's an interesting pairing.
I think it's a soft landing for him. He's getting out of this incredibly volatile situation in the Hamptons and finding something new in Charleston.
He says he's taking it slow, which is smart. But is it real? Or is it another strategic alliance?
Probably a little of both. It definitely keeps them both in the headlines. But also, the Bravo world is so small, they understand each other's lives in a way an outsider never could. You know, if you've just been in a fist fight on camera, who else can you talk to about that but someone else on the network?
That's a really good point. It's like a weird televised support group. So, to wrap this all up, it feels like the theme today is a struggle for control.
I think that's it exactly. DORIT is trying to control the narrative by controlling the vocabulary. Meredith is trying to control her edit by fighting production. Kelly and Stacy are trying to control their business brands.
And the men. The men are just losing control completely. Their emotions, their friendships, everything is just spiraling.
They're all wrestling with the medium that made them famous. And the more they fight against it, the messier it all gets.
It's messy, it's chaotic, and we are absolutely here for it.
We definitely are.
And that brings us to the end of this deep dive. We have covered so much ground today, we really have. And I want to leave you with a final thought to think about. We talked a lot about people like Meredith and Tamara breaking the fourth wall, talking about production and editing. So my question for you is this. Is that the new reality? In a world where we all know how the show is made, is seeing them fight the producers the most real thing they can do? Or does seeing the zipper on the monster suit just ruin the whole movie? That's a fantastic question. Is the magic gone, or has it just evolved? We'd love to know what you think. Thanks for joining us today. We will be back soon with more.
Until then, keep watching.